Scott, dude, I have to be a little bit excited, but with tempered expectations. Assassin's Creed Mirage director has ideas for extending Basim's story, but not with DLC. Are we getting Mirage 2? Tom Ivan over at VGC. Oh man, let's go. Assassin's Creed Mirage creative director has ideas for further developing the story of the game's protagonist, Basim. During a Reddit AMA, Stéphane Bouton left the door open for revisiting the character in the future, although he reiterated that there are no plans for Mirage DLC. Quote, "We're thrilled by the reception of Mirage," end quote. He wrote, quote, "Mirage has been designed as a standalone experience without any DLC plan. However, we have ideas, Scott, we have ideas on how we can extend the story of Basim, surely. But as of today, no post-launch content is planned for Mirage," end quote. But also said Ubisoft is planning to release isn't planning to release any more significant updates for the game, which received additional features like New Game Plus and permadeath post-launch. Quote, "We have no plans for a new major update, but we'll keep monitoring the game and listening to player feedback," end quote, he said. Bodon also asked if he would like to work on another game starring Basim, should the opportunity arise. Quote, "Telling the coming-of-age story of Basim was a blast for us, so clearly, yes. We still have a lot to say about Basim," end quote. He said, quote, "On the other hand, creating a game with that much constraints is a difficult exercise, and as a team would also love to explore new horizons and having more creative freedom," end quote. Scott, I think he's got ideas, but we're not getting Mirage 2, man. I'm telling you right now.
No, it sounds like the very last bit there sounds like they want to do something new and different with them. A little bit larger of a game, perhaps, instead of the old school lock it down to a city that Mirage kind of echoed back to. But
sure,
do you think this is just Basim being the kind of main character? We've had Altair, we've had Ezio.
Yeah.
Connor never really stuck. Kenway never really stuck. There's some of that just haven't worked out. But
Kenway was
maybe
good,
this is just a Kenway was good. I liked some of these characters, but they didn't stay around for multiple releases or anything like that. It sounds like Basim will at the very least get a part in somebody else's game.
Well, yeah. Well, so Basim was in Valhalla, right? And he was kind of the introduction to stuff. And then Valhalla ended, and I was left scratching my head. And then we get into Mirage, and at the end of it, still left kind of scratching my head how that ties everything in. And I know it's this coming of age story, but I'm like, how does that roll in to Valhalla? And so there's a gap there, basically the way the game is ending between the game starting with Mirage and ending, and then the way the game starts and ends with Valhalla. You're like, it's still like, where's the connection, right? That's the part they can go, okay, here's the sequel. This is the lead into Valhalla and his path leading into that. And I'm not going to spoil it, even if you haven't played it, it's cool. It's definitely a cool story. I love Assassin's Creed, like, without a doubt. I'm a big fanboy. I love what Ubisoft always puts together there. Some games, like, are always better than others, right? It just depends on your preference. But Mirage hit at such a unique thing because it was much smaller, right? I think after getting exhausted, we talked about this yesterday too, Mirage was just much smaller. So now we're going to get into, here's my prediction, okay? This is where I'm queuing this up. We get Red this year. We get Hexy in 2026, which is a smaller title, right? And then we get another big RPG, open whatever, and then we go back into Mirage 2. I think I think this is years out from ever happening, as they would like to explore other things. Dude, Red, huge exploration here of opportunities because it's going to be massive. It's going to be like Valhalla, right? It's going to be huge. Hexy has already been stated to be a smaller title, kind of like Mirage, right? Only hone in a couple hours, you maybe clean it all up in 30 hours, 50 hours. I 100% in Mirage in 50 hours. Dude, I took a lot of time to explore it. I really enjoyed living and breathing in that world. I would love to go back.
We think that's a small game now. It's really funny. Things change.
Remember, the small games were like 8 to 10 hours. Now, small game is 30 to 50. It's funny how things change. But yeah, it's one of those circumstances, right? When will we get this? I don't think we're gonna get it anytime soon, but there's an opportunity because of the way they ended Mirage, dude. There's opportunity to keep that door open, to keep going with Basim and see how everything else ties in. And then when you pull it into Valhalla, you're like, man, I'm still left with questions, right? So I'm now curious to see how Valhalla, Mirage tie in, if at all, into Red.